time disruptions, we lost a lot in the luminous aether. 2/3 of our original content is gone in the blink of an eye. Alex will explain. Dark tidings indeed. Later on, I've included what's left, our lost episodes, the end of an era.
You know, that letter, obviously we don't know too much about it. It seemed like it was signed by, I don't know, a group, a person.
Perhaps an agent of chaos itself.
Yeah, well, that could be that. Because they wanted us to reveal, if I remember correctly, vaguely, they wanted us to reveal the truth. I've noticed this disturbance a number of years prior. I felt something was off. I didn't necessarily communicate this to everybody, but I felt that something was off. And through anecdotal evidence, discussions with others, and my own, experiences, I've kind of developed a few potential theories for what could have happened and what has put us off on this so-called dark timeline. My original theory was that it was sometime around the year 2000. Which, I mean, again, the whole, Y2K thing is funny enough. It kind of syncs with that. But the notion is that something happened to disrupt the natural flow of time in our timeline around that year. My best guess, and based on the evidence and the research I've done, is that it was a time traveler. Yes, I know. I believe a time traveler from the future came back around the year 2000 in search of, I don't know, creating chaos, fame, fortune, as a coming back with money and knowledge of the future to, maybe maybe the future's a desolate wasteland and this was the most prosperous time period, in humanity. So maybe this person was remnants of a society, but they have advanced technology. He came back to try and live the best life he could in a time of, prosperity, and he tried his best to gain fame. Who knows? Why? But I think that person entering our timeline created the ripples that we are now experiencing, the waves of chaos and darkness that we are now. There's a main timeline, and there's a natural force, much like there is like life and evolution, and these other forces that are in reality, and physics and all these things, that there's a way things work, and it tries to keep itself that way. It tries to maintain that consistency. And for this, it's essentially that there's a main timeline. When things happen that alter that main timeline, it creates a branch timeline. Now, my theory differs in that I think these branch timelines ultimately collapse back into the main because of these regulating forces. When these branch timelines occur, such as when the time traveler came back, he created this branch timeline. That timeline ultimately collapsed, causing it to merge with the main. I believe that these variances from the side timelines come in and corrupt and change the main timeline. These are the Mandela effect. These effects, these memories, these ideas, these thoughts of things that have happened that we often have, such as the Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears?
Exactly.
What?
The Bernstein Bears.
I've never heard of anything to do with the Bernstein Bears.
You haven't heard the Bernstein Bears?
Aren't they just little, bears in books?
Yeah, how do you spell it, though?
Bernstein?
It's A-N. It's a Bernstein Bears. Exactly. A live Mandela effect for you, audience.
Fuck me.
That's the Mandela effect. So, there's the Stein and the Stein universes. Or timelines. They're not universes in this thing. They're timelines. And this is caused by, again, at some point, could have been caused by this very timeline ripple effect corruption. And that is what caused where we are now. This time intruder, came back in 2000, messed stuff up.
There's something more that I don't know if I'll ever really grasp it again. I don't know what it is.
Well, this is
those episodes, whatever they are.
Theoretically, what if there wasn't just one time intruder? What if there's been multiple? What if you have now, your memories have been changed in the main timeline based on a Joe from an alternate timeline? That timeline collapsed. You don't have the same memories as me and Jeremy. We lived a different actual reality than you. It's possible, theoretically. Again, the timeline will adjust itself, so maybe you'll get those memories. We don't know.
Are you guys shitting me?
This is theory 1.
Theory 1? How many theories are there?
Well, there's 3 theories.
Okay, well, continue.
But again, you have to understand, this is based on the assumption, we've identified one potential time traveler. There could have been more. It's possible that history has been rewritten many times by various time travelers. Is there an organization that exists to maintain this? You would think. I don't think it'd be humans, though. If anything, I think it'd be like aliens. Timelines are more of a universal thing, so it wouldn't be human exclusive. So if anything, you'd think there'd be like aliens or futuristic species out there that somehow maintain this. Why they would allow this to occur, I have no idea. But this is just theory 1. Theory 2 is a theory you're probably much more familiar with, which is multiple timelines that spin off infinitely for every decision option that we face. Theory 1, there's the true timeline, which would be the light timeline, where things have gone well for us. It's been corrupted. It's now dark. In this theory, there's an infinite number of theories. So there's variations on light and dark timelines from all scales of spectrums. So where we could be in that spectrum, unknown.
Who's to say?
What these are caused by, again, it could be time travelers. That doesn't mean that the time traveler theory is mutually exclusive. I still believe it's true. I still believe he is the Dark Lord who came and has corrupted our timeline. That is still
Lord?
That's what I call him.
I mean, I don't know what else you would call him. Dark Lord. When I think of Dark Lord, I think of Sauron and
Comparable.
Darth Vader, things like that.
Well, comparable.
People
He
like
set
that.
Australia on fire. He unleashed a pandemic.
Oh yeah, the Australian fires.
Yeah.
Fuck man, I adopted a koala for this motherfucker.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Well, I guess, but I mean,
Yeah.
the Dark Lord.
Yeah.
He seems more powerful than those other Dark Lords I mentioned. If he can bend time to his will.
Well, I mean, I guess the way we have to look at it is, he hasn't been adjusted or corrected through the natural forces of time. So that would indicate that, and I mean, I have theories as to why I believe it's him, but that's for another day. I don't want to get too on him. I don't know the implications of that, so I don't really want to, that's slander.
The Dark Lord's gonna come up and sue you.
Libel, maybe.
We need time lawyers. We'd know who it was then. Time lawyers to reveal himself.
We would know who. Yeah, everybody would know who. You're right. But I don't.
He just erases the timeline and starts over.
Yeah.
Then no one's gonna know anything.
Theory 3, much less timeliney. It's essentially we're wrong. There is no timelines. There's only our reality, and in which case, we have lived in a very prosperous time of light. Prior generations fought hard to get us here, and we kind of squandered it and keep messing it up. And the veil comes off at a certain age where you start to see the reality of it. That was for us around those 2,000 years, and now we're just living in this
hellscape.
Yeah, this time that naturally would be hard for any individual growing and maturing. But we just so happen to be at a time where many of the systems that our forebears have put in place, the faults in them have begun to break down, and now we are just struggling to kind of put everything back together. So take it as you will.
That's the most terrifying.
Oh, by far the most terrifying
theory of all of them.
Yeah,
because
this is just reality.
It's just reality.
Yeah, the veil's just been lifted, and the light and
I don't think
happiness.
That's very likely.
No? Yeah, let's hope. Now let's hope it's number 1, and slowly maybe the timeline will start to readjust itself and get us back to normal. But either way, it could have been one of the ripple effects from this that caused the episodes to disappear. If theory 1 is correct, they obviously are they are above our means of power. They are above us.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm sure whatever they want to do, and I mean, again, to be fair, I vaguely remember other people involved. I don't know. Again, it's just like this faded dream. So I can't explain everything. These are just, maybe my brain has somehow has a kink in it that I was able to see past a little bit of the shadows. Yeah. But Obviously we don't know.
Your coding is different.
Yeah, slightly, but I still don't know. How will we know? How
could you?
Well, we know. Well, I guess if I get sued, we know. But you know what I mean.
Shit.
Again, we don't know the beings involved in this, their power, what they're capable of, what their organizations are capable of. So we wouldn't want to expose ourselves and anybody who learns this knowledge from us to any harm.
It's dangerous knowledge.
Well, potentially. So I mean, it's I'll keep everyone ignorant for now. This may have honestly been too much revealed today as is. So I think we'll leave it there.
Shit, man. What is that? Do you feel that? You sense this? What the fuck was that? You guys did not experience that. Guys, what's going on?
I don't know, man.
Something just happened. Joe, did you and Alex, you both?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Dude, The Patriot is good.
It's a time commitment.
It is a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
All right, back to please.
Your boy though, Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger is he's the son, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie's hilarious, dude.
Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale, yeah. Knight's Tale, another good one, dude.
Joe's.
When they're dancing.
Called alarms. Hello.
Well, I love this. I always remember this scene where they're dancing in like the court, and it's like has like a David Bowie song playing.
Yeah.
That's a good scene. I always remember that.
I feel like Joe could write out.
What was the girl? What was the main? What was the love interest? Like, what actress? Who?
Lady Jocelyn.
Dude, I feel like these movies came out similar time too, like late.
But
like
the funny thing is, the
2000 or something.
actress was in a few things around that time, but she never really made it big.
Yeah.
I mean, how much bigger can you get than A Knight's Tale, dude? Like, there's not really anywhere to go from there. So,
I love it so much, Joe. I love how much you love that movie.
how many times did you watch Knight's Tale in theaters, Joe?
I don't even think I probably saw it once in theaters.
Okay.
I mean, I probably wasn't paying my own movie tickets back then.
That's true. How many times did you see it on DVD?
Many times. I watched it just like a couple weeks ago.
Didn't I hear you say that? I thought somebody said you like got in and watched it like 13 times in a row or something crazy. Wasn't
No way. Someone was telling lies about me.
I think Nick probably said that.
Yeah,
and I think
I
we
might have snuck into the theater.
We've all believed it, actually.
Yeah.
That's been canon for us for a while.
Maybe it's all been lies, Joe. But I remember someone saying that you had like an unhealthy obsession with A Knight's Tale at one point.
I just know that a man can change his stars.
I love it. If it's not true, I don't care. To me, it is.
So if there is a VR
So good.
game for A Knight's Tale where you could be the knight on your tail,
Sir Ulrich, is that his name?
So Ulrich.
Ulrich? There you go.
Von Liechtenstein or something,
From Gelderland.
would you play that game?
I would, yeah.
And we're going to get into that. We're going to unpack that particular brand of madness. The fact that Alex doesn't give a fuck about spoilers. Craziness. No man has ever seen the depths of his soul, his heart, his mind. And will we discover it today on this podcast? We won't. Because it's impossible to know. But I'm not saying he's a killer. I'm not saying he has killed. But I'm not going to rule it out. So, what was I talking about again? And today, I am joined by Lord Alexander Tanner.
What's up?
And I'm joined by the Straw Hat Ronin, Joseph DeCoste.
Ooh.
My name is Jeremy Hoagland, a common thief. All right, people. So today we are talking about Ghost of Tsushima. I have platinum the game. I believe Joe has beaten the game.
Yeah, I've beaten it, but scantily beaten it, I guess, compared to you.
Yeah. And Alex, where are you at in the story?
I'm still in Act 2.
So you're in Act 2, and you're not worried about spoilers.
Not at all.
Can you explain to the audience how much you don't care about spoilers? Because I think some people would be shocked.
Jeremy, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just that I absolutely do not care. I guess I'm one of those people who, when I go into movies, I'm already trying to figure out where it's going to go. My brain's already kind of traveling down different paths for how the scenarios could play out. So when storylines end up going down those paths, it's not really a shock to me.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting to me, man. I've always like, I know that about you, and it's something that I'm like, I just don't understand it. It's like, it's like when we were eating ramen the other night and you gave me your egg. I just can't understand.
Well, that's
egg and dinner is always kind of a little weird to me.
Well, I mean, but it's ramen. Okay, and ramen, it relates to this topic, actually. That's very Japanese staple food. Hello, and welcome back to the JoyCircuit podcast. Today is a great day because we have in our possession, finally, the PlayStation 5. Yes, it's here. It arrived. Canada Post. Once again, I'd like to shout you out. Thank you, even though it was late. Still appreciate you. Appreciate the things you do out there in this pandemic, delivering people PS5s. But without further ado, let's get some high-level first impressions on the PlayStation 5, and I'm going to kick it over to Joe first and foremost here. Joe, what do you think about the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, so kick it to me first, the least prepared with my thoughts.
That's right.
It's so big, it's kind of oddly shaped. It just kind of sticks out. It's not something that's going to blend in.
It's got a little gut on it.
Yeah, it's not going to blend in on your entertainment stand. It's going to stick out, which, I mean, if you want something like that, but like, I just think about when I get one, I put it in my house, like, I kind of like stuff like that to be a little understated. So for me, I'm like, if it's understated, it's got to go in like a drawer or something. Like, otherwise, it's just going to be the centerpiece of your entire.
You're going to put your PS5 in a drawer?
I would.
Oh shit! Okay.
Because I just, for me, like, I just don't want it to be the centerpiece. Like, the focal point of my entire living room is my gigantic looming PlayStation 4. And I don't know. A big piece of technology just doesn't really vibe with that. Although I do prefer it in white. If it was black, I would hate the thing. If it was all black,
yeah.
I'd hate it.
And that's what I was going to ask. The white. How do you guys feel about the white?
The white's good to me.
White's good. I like it too.
Yeah.
I
could actually use, make even the black part like silver.
I kind of like the black and white contrast. Yeah.
I would like it silver.
Yeah. Well, we know you like silver and gold.
A gunmetal.
They have a controller updates now. Going back to the DualSense, I noticed that was interesting. That's something new. So they can actually update the controller, which I don't remember there being a separate controller update before. I guess that would have just been in with the system. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah,
dangerous game.
Well, I have
another thing to wait.
When you guys get a smart TV, you'll be like, oh yeah. There's another thing to update.
What if they learn to weaponize controllers? Terrorists.
QAnon, bud.
So you're gonna update. So first you're gonna want to play this new game that comes out. You're gonna turn your TV on. It's gonna be like fucking update. Then you're gonna turn on your console. Fucking update. Then you're gonna be like, okay, well at least I'm ready to go now. And then controller's gonna be like update. And then the game itself is going to be like update, new patch.
Isn't your new show called Update?
But I wonder, it is. But I wonder, could you get stuck in an infinite loop of you update your TV, you finally get through all the steps of updating everything else, and then your TV's like, time for another update. You can't play this game because now you're stuck in an update loop because you have to update so many things that by the time the last thing updates, the first thing's ready for another update.
Well, the way my life is right now, I already feel like I'm living in a perpetual sort of update loop hellscape. So to me, that's normal. That's what I expect.
Life is weird right now.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I almost threw up in my mouth there too. For that.
I almost threw up in my mouth too. So you haven't played other Animal Crossings?
No.
So it's, what's today? January 20...
It's like the 19th, isn't it?
Shit.
18th.
January 18th. So if you could go back in time 1 year,
okay,
and you could tell yourself one piece of advice for the coming year, what would that piece of advice be?
That's easy for me. Don't fly back to Alberta. because there's no point. There's going to be a lockdown. You're not even have to be there.
Were you
soon.
here January 18th, or were you already flown back?
I think that's the day I flew out.
Really?
I literally flew out on January 18th, and then I went back. I think I went to the university like twice before lockdown.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even need to be in Alberta for that entire rest of the year. But I was already there. Stacey was working.
Yeah.
So had we just been like, you know what? We're just going to stay here. Stacey could have got a job. We could have had the entire summer here. Yeah, so that's what I would have stayed in Nova Scotia.
Alex,
Yeah.
same question.
Probably I would just tell myself that I got the job that I was working for, like doing the process for in February, March, and it took till October to actually get the job.
Yeah, and
There's a lot of stress during that time financially. So just knowing that I had that job lined up would have made it a little bit easier. But to be fair, I spent a lot of time with the girls during COVID. Like,
yeah.
I enjoyed a lot of my time. It was just that extra
You could have
stress.
told yourself to be like, listen, this is basically just
Free.
an awesome vacation.
Exactly.
And then you get a job.
100%.
And you
so
would have...
you shouldn't stress at all. In fact, this is the best
Exactly.
time ever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you would have had money coming, so you could have been like, you know what? I
Exactly.
don't have to worry, so...
It would have been,
Yeah.
there was a lot of stress just financially during that time, not knowing what would happen. So, yeah, that's pretty much the only thing.
No, that's good. That's good. Me, I would just tell myself to buckle up and just disappear. And I do picture myself like left there, like
Wondering.
past me being like,
What the fuck?
it's so sad.
It's been a rough year.
It has been a rough year. Our year in review for 2020. But yeah, let's kick it off with our personal top fives. Now let me think. I don't have anything to refer to, so I have to go from the top of my head here. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Streets of Rage 4, Ghost of Tsushima,
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
And number 1, The Last of Us Part 2.
No surprise.
No surprise there. Had to be.
Okay, we'll start off number 5, if that works for you. We'll start off with Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Okay.
Good game. It was kind of a big thing. Actually, I would say the most important game of the year.
Okay.
I feel like it kind of helped a lot of people through quarantine and lockdown and the pandemic.
Yeah.
It allowed people to connect with others and kind of have that sense of community, even though they were locked away.
Yeah.
Very important game. It was fun. And my girls really enjoyed it. And my
Nice.
girlfriend. It was a good family game.
Yeah, totally.
Um,
It's like the ultimate family game.
yeah, it is. Because it is multiplayer, right? You have all 4. You can be running around the screen together doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Also, interestingly, the only game that Nintendo released this year.
Ghost of Tsushima. Hades. Hades is fun. I'll say the number 1 in this game is much higher than the rest of my list. Hades is a good game. It's a great game. It's a good roguelike. It's really fun. It also, I don't think it was game of the year though. A lot of people giving it game of the year. It doesn't have that much content.
Okay.
After 20 or 30 run-throughs, you see most of the boons. You met most of the people. Good game though. Great. I would recommend it to both you for a run-through. It's a great game. It's pretty cheap. It's like $20-$30.
Okay.
Whatever. And number 1, Final Fantasy VII Remake. You said on here, keep it short. I just want to say, this game, incredible. So glad it came out this year. Amazing game. By far one of my games of the decade, up there with Breath of the Wild. Incredible. Still think about it like daily.
Oh, we know.
I love this game. So good.
This would never make your guys' list, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I mean,
it wouldn't
yeah.
make my list because I just wouldn't play it. That's
Yeah.
just, like if I played it, maybe it would.
Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. This is actually a toss-up for me between Valhalla and Ghost of Tsushima in second place.
That makes sense because I feel like Ghost of Tsushima kind of was like the Ubisoft open world.
Yeah.
But just not by Ubisoft.
Yeah, and actually, we discussed that game a lot. I think I kind of compared them quite a bit in our previous podcast, which I'm sure you can find on YouTube or on Spotify if you just look back through the histories.
It's out
Just
there.
scroll down 1.
Yep. And then number 1. So again, it is too. All right. So yeah. So my number 1. So like Alex, there's a massive gulf between number 1 for me and everything else that was released this year. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, it just restored my faith and love for Final Fantasy, to be honest.
I mean,
and
me
like
too.
it was dwindling
And I
to
can't-
dangerous
yeah,
levels.
100%. Yeah.
Dangerous levels. So it was redemption for me. So yeah, that's my top 5.
I think I'm just like I'm like an abused like lover or something like that with Square Enix. So it's like I want to give it Game of the Year, but I'm still like fearful that I'm gonna get fucking beat up beat up next time.
Yeah.
Next time we hang out, me and Final Fantasy.
Nomura hasn't done us wrong though. You got to remember that. Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably the worst he's done in recent years, and even that was still a good
Kingdom
game.
Hearts 3 was good, yeah.
It just wasn't
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2 level.
I like Kingdom Hearts 3 more than Kingdom Hearts 1. Or 2, sorry.
Really?
More than 2.
I haven't played 2 in like a decade, but
I like it more than 2 because 2 I just don't remember. Like there's nothing that I remember from it.
You know what I remember?
Confusion.
I know what happened to. I know all the story. I love Kingdom Hearts. You know I know.
Yeah.
But my personal experience, you guys have probably all had this.
You were sick.
I ate like chips and
I
dip or
remember
something,
this.
and I threw up, and that fucked up. I couldn't even look at the Tron world. The Tron world for me was done for like years. It literally looking at it again made me feel not nauseated.
well. Yeah.
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 Really weird.
No, it's true. I mean, it makes sense, dude.
Tron, man.